sure we can get language interpretation. This meeting is being recorded. I will now call this meeting of the Agricultural Labor Relations Board to order. First, I will go through the roll. Board Member Broad.
Present.
Board Member Flores.
Present.
Board Member Hall.
Present.
Board Member Lightstone.
Present.
Thank you. Also present for our meeting today is our Executive Secretary, Santiago Villagomez, as well as our staff member, Devika Ganawardena, who are both providing technical support. We will start today's meeting with our open session, and then prior going into our closed session, we will provide members of the public with the opportunity to provide public comment. For those of you who have reached out to our staff ahead of the meeting, we will go first to you in our comment queue. If you have not reached out but do wish to make a comment, you may let us know in several ways. You can email Santiago or Devika, and their contact information is on the agenda, which is posted on our homepage at alrb.ca.gov. You can let us know using the chat box feature in Zoom or using the raise hand function. If you wish to provide comment, please provide your name and organization if applicable. We do ask that you not provide substantive written comment in the chat feature. This is used just to communicate with us. Substantive comments will not be made part of the public record. We also ask that while you are waiting to speak, if you are not speaking, please put your phone or device on mute in order to ensure good audio quality throughout the meeting. If you have any questions or need assistance, please reach out to Devika or Santiago. And these instructions are available on the agenda as well, again, on our homepage. Okay, our first agenda item is to approve the most recent meeting minutes from January 25th. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, very broad first out of the gate. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Member Lightstone. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. The minutes from January 25th are approved. Okay, and I will pause one moment. Our interpreter has joined us. So we will be providing simultaneous interpretation in Spanish. Even if you're able to hear me now, please go to the bottom right-hand screen and select the language interpretation button. And you can select either English or Spanish, whichever your preferred language is, and that will ensure you have good audio quality during the meeting. I'll now pause and let have this message relayed in Spanish as well.
Buenos días y gracias por acompañarnos hoy para nuestra junta. Hoy tenemos servicios de interpretación. Para escuchar esta junta en español, por favor, vaya hacia el abajo de su pantalla y presione o haga clic en el glóbulo que dice interpretación. Allí escoja el idioma español o inglés. Aunque vaya a escuchar en inglés, por favor, elija el idioma para que claramente pueda escuchar nuestra junta. Gracias.
Thank you. Okay, now on to our next agenda item, which is the chair's report, and I have several items to share. First, I would like to advise all, and I'm pleased to report that we have recruited 2 new administrative law judges to the board to fill recent retirements, Judge Craycraft as well as Judge McCarrick, who will be leaving us soon. Our new judges, one started this week, Administrative Law Judge Hermine Honavar-Rule, who brings over a decade of administrative adjudication experience with the state from another agency. Also, in a few weeks, we will have Judge Jaime Gabriela Martinez-Michael, who currently serves as a Deputy Labor Commissioner 3 with the Labor Commissioner's Office, bringing that labor and employment experience. I'm very grateful to our Executive Secretary, Santiago Villagomez, Administrative Law Judge Mark Sobel for helping through the recruitment process and also helping onboard our 2 new Administrative Law Judges, a very crucial position with our agency. So excited for those transitions. I also wanted to share with my colleagues and staff that General Counsel Julie Montgomery and I had the pleasure to go to an event last week for the Farm Worker Health Study that was published with grant money from the Department of Public Health by the University of California Merced Labor Center, which is one of our newer labor centers. It is a follow-up to a study from over 20 years ago by the California Institute for Rural Studies, looking at not only the health conditions of farm workers, but also living and working conditions that impact health. And it was a very constructive, wonderful event. There were over 200 participants there down in Merced with panels featuring our labor secretary, Stuart Knox, the labor commissioner, Lilia Garcia Brower, and the Cal OSHA chief, as well as other agency representatives. The study is now available online, and I will circulate that link later. And it provided a lot of information, some of which we already knew, but things that were particularly striking. And I think the pieces of data that stood out for me that the General Counsel and I discussed, and I think we've been aware of, but it was a reminder, is just how many workers stated that they would not raise a complaint to a government agency out of fear. It was over 30% of the workforce. And nearly 60% said that they had a frequent or almost constant fear of immigration-based retaliation, which is something that I think we're aware of, but it was just a stark reminder of those barriers and the barriers that we need to, or the things that we need to try and address. And I know our staff work hard to address all the time, but in order to remind workers that immigration status is not a barrier to accessing and exercising their rights under the Agricultural Labor Relations Act, as well as many of the rights and protections available to them under the California Labor Code, and was a reminder of all the work we need to do to build trust with those communities and work with trusted partners. So they will be doing presentations up and down the state on the study, and I'm hoping to invite representatives from those that produced the study to do a more full presentation for the whole board, but it was a really good event. And we had other staff members present as well, and so it was good to connect with a variety of folks. Next, I have some bittersweet news. Unfortunately, our Visalia Regional Director, Blas Gutierrez, is going to be leaving us for other opportunities. It's been a pleasure to work with him, and I want to thank him. I think we have him for maybe one more meeting, but I wanted to make sure I was not remiss in thanking him with the board. We will also be, unfortunately, having to recruit for his position. He will have big shoes to fill. So I did want to, I know the General Counsel is working on getting the listing and the advertisement for that position. But I wanted to announce that at the public meeting in case we do have members of the public who know of good candidates or those who might be interested in the opportunity, as well as once that listing is available, I will share that with my colleagues on the board, and we'll need your help utilizing our networks to recruit for this really important position. So more on that. And that concludes the chair's report for today. Do I have any colleagues with any questions or comments? Our next agenda item is the Executive Officer's Report on Elections, Unfair Labor Practice Complaints, and Hearings, which is with our Executive Officer, Santiago Villagomez. Santiago.
Thank you, and good morning, Chair Hasid and members of the board. There is no report today other than a single update to one of the two pending matters before the board is Gerwin Farming, Inc., involving complaint matter 44 ALRB number 1, case number 2012 CE041BIS, and the update there is that the exception dates were continued to February 28th and replies, if any, to March 21st. And that concludes the update.
Thank you, Santiago. Next, we have our litigation report. Todd, do we have any? No, nothing to report. The next agenda item is the General Counsel's report with General Counsel Julie Montgomery. Julie.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. So I just have some outreach activities to report on today that our staff has been covering since the last board meeting. So today, in fact, our staff is performing presenting, I should say, a staff training to California Rural Legal Assistance offices in Salinas, Santa Maria, and Watsonville. So that's going to be a virtual training about the ALRB and the resources we provide so that we can continue to communicate with our community-based organizations about the resources that we offer and collaborate more closely. And we have also been holding office hours in Santa Maria at various nonprofits, including Cause and MyCop. And as our board has seen mentioned, several of us attended the UC Merced Community Labor Center event regarding the Farm Worker Health Study Report release, and that was last Friday. Like Chair Hasid, I found it to be a really impactful event, and just wanted to do a shout out to the organizers of that meeting. They did a fantastic job bringing folks from the community there to hear directly from them, like the people who are actually affected and impacted by, that the report covers. And so it was very, very helpful to hear directly from farm workers, children of farm workers, farm worker advocates who are in all of these communities, and hear about the actual conditions and barriers that they're experiencing. And I look forward to just some of the collaborations that will hopefully develop as a result of that study. We also have been distributing materials at a mobile Mexican consulate clinic in Hanford, which is in Kings County. And also our staff has been present on the radio in 2 different interviews. One was on February 2nd. They provided an interview in Spanish and Mixteco, because if anybody doesn't know, we do have Mixteco speakers on our staff in the General Counsel's field offices. And that was on the program Radio Indígena in Ventura County. And then we also did another interview in Spanish and Mixteco on the radio program El Informador on Radio Láser, which is broadcast to the counties of Tulare, Kings, Kern, Madera, and Fresno. So we're continuing to work, and Daniela Ramirez and her team, who's our outreach manager, they're hard at work getting out there in the community and forming those partnerships, and in addition to just distributing information through various media outlets. So that concludes my report. I can answer any questions. Oh, and I did want to also just thank Blas Gutierrez for his service to the ALRB, and just let him know that we appreciate everything he's done while he's been here, and we're going to miss him. And just echo Chair Hasid's words to spread the word about the upcoming vacancy, and let us know if you hear of anyone who is interested and might be a good candidate for the regional director position. We're certainly interested in talking to those folks. So thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Next, we have, our next agenda item is the Administrative Services Report with our Chief of Administration, Brian Doherty. Brian?
Good morning. Just have a few updates for everyone this morning. First of all, I'd like to mention the latest IT update that we have going on. We have been underway in trying to upgrade our network infrastructure out at all of our regional offices. This was being done by our IT staff, Rafael Diaz, who's been going out to each one of our regional offices and working closely with both the Department of Technology, Comcast, and the local communications company at each regional office to upgrade our circuits at all of our office sites so that we can roll out our new network IT infrastructure. The plan here for this new IT infrastructure will basically increase the bandwidth and office internet speeds by 4 times what they're currently at, which is greatly needed for our regional office staff to be able to meet their day-to-day needs, and it will allow for a more stable IT environment for all of those offices. I'm happy to note that through this process, we've successfully been able to update all of our offices, with the exception of Visalia, which is still currently looking to be scheduled in the next couple of weeks. And once the Visalia office is finally up and running on the new network, then we will work on our Sacramento headquarters as the final kind of transition. And we will be officially running on the new network, and we'll provide the level of dedicated redundancy so that we can have a stable work environment moving forward. So I'll kind of keep everybody updated once that IT transition is officially completed. In addition to our IT updates, I do have one minor update on the legislative budget hearings process. We were notified by our Senate Sub 5 committee consultant that right now our dedicated labor and workforce hearing is scheduled for Thursday, April 18th upon adjournment of the session. This will be a hearing that will tackle all of the labor and workforce agency related budget requests. So I will kind of continue to be point for that and keep everyone updated as we have our pre-hearing scheduled to be able to address any questions or concerns that the Senate may have on our 4 budget proposals that are part of the proposed governor's budget. We are still waiting to hear on the Assembly side what kind of our schedule will look like as well. But make sure that that gets communicated out as more information becomes available. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody may have.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. Okay, seeing no questions, I don't believe we have a legislative or regulatory report today. So our next agenda item is public comment. Please be advised that the board is unable to adjudicate, comment, or resolve any pending case matters that are before the board. I will first go ask Santiago to go through the queue and then open it up for others that wish to make comment. If you have technical difficulties or we miss your turn, we will work to come back to you. And please remember to be on mute unless you are speaking. Santiago, do we have anyone in the queue?
Not at this time, but I'll ask that folks that have joined us via Zoom, if you wish to make a public comment, please either take yourself off of mute and commence, or send a text via the messaging chat feature, or put your hand up using the gestures feature. Does not appear anyone is indicating they wish to make public comment at this time.
Okay, thank you. The board will now gavel into closed session, and when we return from closed session, we will have announcements and then adjournment. So we'll go into closed session. Thank you.
See, Elsie, can you hear me? Okay, perfect. So I'm not sure if you joined us in the past. What we're doing now is going into a separate room to go into closed session. So I will place you in the waiting room while we're gone. When we return, we briefly gavel into the meeting just to advise folks of our next meeting. But there isn't typically a continuation of the meeting at that point. So if you want to just leave your computer kind of with the speaker on so you can hear when we return, that would be sufficient. All right, thank you. Okay. Okay. Ah, dang it, I like carrying my computer around. Oh, well. I like carrying my laptop around. Well, it's being used for the Zoom. Yeah.
Well,
The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold. The host has been notified about your arrival. Your conference will begin momentarily. Please continue to hold.
Thanks for guarding everything, David. I get you.
Don Clover's with us too. Senate Labor and yeah, I don't know, maybe a new consultant. Yeah, actually, that's kind of ringing a bell. Don Clover, new Senate consultant.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Okay, all right, thank you, everyone. The board is now back from closed session. Cynthia, can you just give a are you able to hear? Okay, great. In terms of announcements, our next meeting will be Wednesday, February 22nd at 10 a.m. And that concludes today's board meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.